Hey everyone, welcome back to Jashelle Tech TV. This video was part 2 of how I got into coding. I get asked a lot about how I got into coding, so I'm going to continue the story here. And feel free to check out part 1 to start from the very beginning. Also, if you're new to the channel, nice to meet you. My name is Jashelle, and this channel is all about sharing my tech journey. Also, like and subscribe if you're interested in the content here, and if you're interested in staying connected with my tech journey. So to continue the story, after spending all or most of my free time putting in work into the fan site that I'd worked hard on for several years, I just deleted it. It was fun for that time in my life being in high school, but even then, I had not seriously considered web development as a career. Because in my mind, it wasn't exactly appealing to spend the rest of my life behind a computer screen for a living. But surprisingly, or not surprisingly, I did end up enrolling in a computer programming technology program at a local community college. And while I was in college, I got my first real job working in tech support for a very large company. And I actually have a video on that as well if you want to check it out. A couple of years later, I graduated and received my associate's degree in computer programming technology. But then a little while after that, I actually ended up opening up my own business as a freelance photographer. I know. And I also got a full-time job as a photographer, so I did both. Photography was and still is one of my many interests and passions, and so I did it for a living for a little while. The full-time photography job was only seasonal, so I also did other jobs like tech retail. I had other tech support jobs. I also helped other people with their websites and other tech-related stuff, and I still maintained my own photography business. One of my favorite parts about having my own business was constantly improving my website. I found myself spending hours just to make the website better. So a little while later, the spark to get back into web development came back. I enjoyed photography, but not enough to do it full-time anymore. I just wasn't interested in constantly learning about it. So it was definitely something I wanted to just keep as a hobby, and maybe just something to do for fun or as a side hustle. But everything I learned as a photographer just helps me with creating content. So I ended up enrolling in a coding boot camp. So having done some self-taught stuff as well as getting an associate's in programming, I decided bootcamp was a pretty good next step. And I actually talk about that in part 1 of how I got into coding. You can check that out for the rest of that story. I always see people ask the question when it comes to learning how to code, is it better to teach yourself or go to a bootcamp or go to college? And as a person who has done all 3, one thing I can say is that they all helped me in some way. None of it was a waste of time. I think being self-taught is good because it, number 1, proves to yourself that you have some kind of genuine interest in this field, especially taking the initiative to teach yourself. It definitely shows that you have a real interest in this field. School or college gives you a formal education, especially when it comes to the fundamentals, which I found to be very helpful in the long run. And coding bootcamp is helpful as far as helping you apply coding concepts as quickly as possible through building software projects. And I think bootcamp helped me the most, because it basically helped me put all of the knowledge together in a very short period of time and actually be able to apply it. And then with bootcamp for me, I received constant support from team leads and other students. In my experience, I learned more in coding bootcamp than I did self-teaching or college. And as I mentioned in a previous video, bootcamp is actually one of the reasons I'm more confident in self-teaching. I feel like I can not only learn about a new technology, but actually figure out how to use it. Bootcamp just helped guide me a little bit better as I eased back into this field without having to commit to a very, very long course or anything. But I do believe to be as well-rounded as possible as a developer, you want to learn how everything works as much as possible. So my philosophy is you can still either go back to school or take additional courses to learn things on a deeper level. But now I'll never let go of this skill again. I'll always be working on becoming a better developer and continue learning. I think it's just one of those skills like photography that's just good to have. But anyways, that's all I have for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!